So we stay with coronavirus, as of course we try and understand the impact that this is having in China at the moment, whilst global focus also shifts to the ways through which the illness is spreading across the world. Dereck Breydenbach is a teacher in the Shandong province, which is south of China. He says he has absolutely no intention of being repatriated back to South Africa despite the outbreak. He joins us now on the line. Dereck, thanks very much for your time. I mean, this is counterintuitive, right? The world is speaking about Armageddon in some sense happening in China, and you'd expect any South African, given the opportunity to come back home, to take it at first glance. You're not one of those South Africans. Tell us why.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about it. China is my home away from home, and I'm very happy here despite the outbreak, and everybody supports each other to fight the virus. For me, every day is just another normal day, even though everything came to a standstill and was shut down. And also, I feel safer in China than I feel in South Africa. So for me, it's just an extended holiday, working from home, doing online teaching, and still being in touch with my friends, my colleagues, and my students.
And how long have you been in China, Dereck?
I've been in China for almost 2 years, and before that I was teaching abroad in the United Arab Emirates.
And I'll ask you the same question I posed to Nadia a short while ago, who's also in a different province in China, about whether or not you think it's still necessary to have the 151 South Africans who I understand are in Wuhan being brought back into the country. And that's mainly because we're certainly getting a sense that officials in China are finally getting a handle over coronavirus. Consecutive days of reporting fewer and fewer cases and deaths have been forthcoming. I mean, the sense of panic that was there initially is certainly subsiding. Do you think that that operation is still necessary?
Yes. I think for the people, especially in Wuhan province, where the whole outbreak started, it caused a lot of panic and chaos. And for those people to return to South Africa, I think it was a good precaution. The Chinese government did an outstanding job to put measures into place for protecting us and keeping everybody safe. First of all, they shut down all the cities, starting in Wuhan province. And everybody had to wear masks. We had to wash our hands regularly. Our temperature has to be measured every time whether we go inside or outside the gates or wherever we go at the security. We get scanned and registered. So we were quarantined you have to be quarantined at least for 2 weeks if you've been out of the country and returned back to China. While everything was shut down and we were quarantined inside our communities, we couldn't really go anywhere. Travel restrictions were enforced. All the transportation systems, restaurants, parks, tourist attractions, banks, everything came to a standstill. So the streets were empty. Nobody was really seen anywhere, and we had to stay indoors and protect ourselves. And now it's still ongoing, but people started returning back to work slowly but surely. So things are getting back to normal. But we still have to take the necessary precautions, still wear our masks, maybe probably till end of April, and just be safe. Because the virus does spread rapidly. But in China, it already reached its peak. They found a cure. It is curable. We just need to be careful and make sure that we don't get into contact with people who might be infected.
And as we reach what appears to be the tail end of this crisis in China, at least, of course, officials are still warning that the situation could still spiral out of control. With the benefit of hindsight, I mean, what has been some of the most difficult moments for you as a South African in China as you grappled with this issue at the height of the crisis?
I think that each expat or each South African, maybe they have different experience. I've seen what people see on social media, on Facebook and other sites. A lot of people were panicking about what was going on, and they just wanted to leave the country straight away, go back to South Africa. But for me, I see the positive in it. I think everybody should just have faith and pray and stay strong, and that's what's happening at the moment. People have been so supportive, and everybody supports each other no matter what. And when people are quarantined. Some people they feel like cabin fever, not being able to go out. Still an opportunity. People can take up reading, take a book, start reading, plan your next holiday, do some exercise, watch movies, do things that you're not used to be doing, because we have a lot of time on our hands. And for me as a teacher, all over the country, we started doing online classes. So we're doing online home visits, we're doing online teaching. We see our students even though we're not in physical contact with them. So for me, it's just normal. Where for other people who might be affected more seriously, I can understand people feel differently about it. So some people, it might not be easy to adapt to situations like this. I've been traveling a lot. I've been in 24 countries over the past 4 years. So for me, it's easy to adapt to these kind of situations and to experience different kind of things in different countries. It's part of the learning curve and living experience, and how to deal with things like that should it occur again.
Right. Thanks very much for getting us into the picture. We do appreciate it. That was Dereck Breydenbach, who's a teacher in the Shanxi province, live to us there from China. All right.